What's going on, everybody? Mortym here, this time bringing you a look at the combat in Encased. Now, Encased uses a turn-based system, as is pretty common with CRPGs, but if you want to get up to speed on what Encased even is, you can actually start with two of the videos I have in the links, links I have in the description down below that cover what Encased is, as well as taking a look at character creation. But now moving on to the combat itself. I figured the best way to show you guys kind of the combat system in the closed beta is to do what I always do when I show off combat systems, which is to shoot a civilian in the face. So, in Encased, you can attack pretty much everyone. The game pretty much mitigates this by making quest essential people unattackable in some form or another, and also by guarding low-level areas with very high-level mobs. Like, I'm going to do this, but there's also this level 8 turret over here that is going to destroy me. So, bringing us down to the bottom left, we have two weapons we can use at any given time. They can be any type or anything like that, and then it's going to show you the skills associated with those. Now, in terms of actually getting the skills, on our character screen, we come down here to skills and abilities, and as you can see, every single type of weapon has associated skills that we can purchase with the skill points. But I actually cover that video. I actually cover those things in my character creation video if you want to understand exactly how that works. But suffice to say, that's where the skills actually come from. Now, all you have to do to attack someone that isn't actually hostile is click one of these abilities and shoot that guy. So as you can see, I just attacked that guy, and as a lot of cases, you actually have to hit him a couple of times for the encounter to begin. So I've killed him outright, and now there are two other people who are in combat. This guy and this guy, as you can see by the initiative order up at the top, with this bar indicating the separation of turns. So, like most CRPGs, this uses initiative rolls to decide who goes first. It does appear to be strictly based on the initiative number that I've seen. I don't have quite enough information to make sure that that is exactly what's happening, but it's definitely not using a round-robin system that I'm aware of. But again, without the companions, it's very hard to say exactly what system it's using. But that said, turn-based system, you can tell whose turn it is by who's over in the far left, and then whose turn is next, etc., etc. Like pretty much every turn-based system, it uses an action point system, which are slightly determined by your stats. So if we go into our journal on the character screen, we can look at our secondary stats over here, which shows us our action point maximum, which is the number that is the max. You'll never have more than that amount of action points. This, best I can tell, is 12 for everyone. I haven't found anything that actually adjusts this, at least as of now. Our saved action points, which is 1, so if we have more than 1 point left over at the end of our turn, we're only going to save 1 action point. So in theory, you want to get as close to that as possible. You don't want to have 2 or 3 left over at the end of the turn because you're wasting action points at that point. And then we have our standard action points, which is the points we get every round. This guy has maxed out deafness, so we get quite a bit of action points every single turn. And then initiative being the number that determines your order in combat, like I mentioned earlier. So those are the relevant skills we're talking about here. Now, as you can see down here, action points are represented by these little blips on the bottom center of your screen. 12, of course, we have 10 because we, of course, started with 10. And then every action is obviously going to cost us action points. Moving costs action points, which it tells you right there on screen. Opening containers cost action points. Our skills will cost action points. We can click on it, and then it'll show us how much it would cost, our hit chance, our crit chance, as well as the actual damage range. Now I can't obviously hit that guy because he is out of range. Now we're going to come down here, or hopefully she'll be in range. Now, unfortunately, she's still out of range. I don't think I'm going to be able to clear the distance. So we're going to move as close as possible, and then we're going to see what she does on her turn. Now, on the enemy's turn, they, of course, do their thing. It seems, at least in the tutorial area, that these guys have just terrible action points. So we're going to pistol aim shot her in the head, which is going to cost us 5 action points, but the hit chance is very high because she's, next to us. It's point blank. That does a ton of damage, at least to her. And now she's gone. But now, as you can see, because I've killed 2 people, now all of these people have just joined the combat queue. And chances are I'm probably going to die right here, because that turret's probably going to one-shot me. Now, if you want to end your turn, just hit end turn, of course, right over here. And then the cover option actually gives you +2 defense if you know you're going to be getting hit, and you can do that instead of ending your turn, but it's basically the same thing. Okay, so I am miraculously still alive because the turret only got the 1 hit on me. But the thing is, that thing has so much health that there's no chance. Like, it has 140, it's level 8, with rank 8. And basically all my attacks are going to do nothing to this thing. Yeah, see, I'm hitting that for 2 damage, so there's no way I'm going to win. But that's kind of the hilarity of attacking civilians, in my opinion. Now, you can swap to weapons that the other weapon that you have slotted. So it doesn't cost action points to switch weapons. It does cost action points to actually use the skills of the other weapon. So that would tell me that it might be a good idea to carry like a melee weapon in addition to a gun or something like that. Okay, enemy turn here, and he comes up. And at some point, they're going to shoot. Yeah, there it is. So I've died, as expected. And apparently they take your body and donate it to science. So, there you go, guys. That is the combat basics for Encased, the upcoming post-apocalyptic sci-fi Fallout-inspired RPG. If you have any questions on what Encased is, about this upcoming game, just see the links below. I've got a couple videos up on it already. If you're interested in pre-purchasing it, I believe that site is up as well. But if you guys like the video, I certainly hope you stick around and subscribe. I'll hopefully have some more stuff up eventually. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.